Hi everyone, my name is Kwame Adu Manu and I'm a data analyst at Vodafone Ghana. I am really excited to be here today. I mean, virtually, of course. Um, I'm excited to present on this session that will focus on digital marketing. And obviously, there are lots of digital marketing platforms out there, but this will focus more on Google Analytics and Google Ads, right? So I've had a couple of these sessions in the past. The most recent one was with the International Trade Center, She Trades, and in collaboration with Google, Google Women's Well. So it was an entrepreneurial session that sought to focus on how business owners can leverage on digital to drive their business. We live in a digital world now. We've heard it a lot. We are past saying that everything is digital now, right? So I'm excited to present this. The last session I had, as I mentioned, over 90% of the class mentioned that they were happy with the content, and also 90% plus of the class mentioned that they did pick up some really key learnings that they were looking forward to applying in their businesses. Okay, so look forward to some really exciting stuff. If you didn't know what digital marketing is, you will know. And if you already know, I am definitely sure you learn some new things. Okay, so whenever I teach a class, I like to have a much deeper impact. So besides, teaching you everything, I want you to go forth and apply it whatever you do. Start a business, follow up with more lessons, get certified. Certification is quite important to me. So yes, get certified and all that. I'll take you on a journey on how you can get certified in some of the very professional certificates, not just course completion certificates, but professional certificates. Obviously, I am certified in all of that. So, I mean, I have some sort of authority in leading you on that path. So let's get right into it. Obviously, we should start with digital marketing. Okay, so most of you probably know what digital marketing is. You've come into contact with it, I am sure. Once you're on the internet, you definitely have come into some sort of, product targeting. And yes, it can be quite annoying sometimes. That's the truth. Like really, really annoying. Talk about YouTube. My God, it's. I mean, it's pretty frustrating. And yeah, we'll get into much details in that. I mean, we don't have any Google reps around here so that we can query them. But yeah, um, for now, let me just take the digital aside and focus on marketing. So when we say marketing, most of you already know what marketing is, right? In the traditional sense, it's basically selling your products, getting your products out there, right? So you know that thing they say that if you operate a business and you don't market, it's like operating in the dark. That's basically it. Once people don't know about you, they don't know about your product, there's nothing to buy. Okay, so you might have the best product, the most refined product, but once you don't get it out there, nobody buys it. So somebody can do a knockoff version of your product, and once they get the branding and marketing right, they will definitely make more money. It doesn't matter whether your product is the best. Okay, so now we know what marketing is. A lot of marketing goes on around us. Market storms, people coming up to you, salespeople coming up to you. Even billboards are a way of marketing to people, getting products out there. Okay, now let's now bring the digital back. So when we say digital, you should also, if you don't know what digital is, and I don't know how you joined this session, we all know what digital means. Okay, so digital is we being online, everything now electronic. Okay, so we have digital payment platforms, we have digital marketing platforms, we have digital, a lot of digital going on. Okay, and once you understand, as we are going to go through this class, how key digital marketing is, you can go forth and try and make an impact, try and support businesses to get their products out. Because the truth is, a lot of people are doing amazing things that people don't know about. I'm sure most of you share this frustration with me. A lot of companies in Ghana don't have websites, and when they do, it's like it was developed by an amateur web developer. Like, it's frustrating. Okay, so hopefully one of the things I'll try to do in this session is to try and impress upon you how important digital is. I mean, it should be that easy, right? So you hear of somebody's product or you pass by a shop and you want to find out more about it. You Google it, absolutely nothing. And it's frustrating. And that's it. I mean, the journey ends there because if I can't find you, I won't drive back to where you are. Okay, so I'm hoping that we can build a kind of culture in Africa where people are able to get their things online, push it out there, go digital. Because your shop is only people in proximity and people who occasionally come from afar who will see it. I hope you get my point. If I'm not close to your shop, how, how would I know what you are doing? Okay, now this slide is not just for fun, like fancy stuff. There are a lot of things in there that I was hoping maybe you would have picked up a few concepts of digital marketing. Okay, so when you check the top, you see 3 different devices. So we have a desktop, we have tablet, we have mobile. Digital marketing, one of the key aspects is personalization. Okay, so you can target people to in a very specific manner. Okay, so you want to target, like for example, I'm walking by the roadside, I see a billboard on female contraceptives. Why do I even say female contraceptives? Are they male contraceptives? No. So I see a billboard on contraceptives, and I mean, it has nothing to do with me. I'm a guy. I don't have need for it or buy it and give it to. No, I don't need it. You get it. But the point is, the billboard owner really can't do much about it, right? So it means everybody that passes there will see that billboard. But what digital marketing allows you to do is personalize, right? So if I want to sell or show contraceptives to people, so digital marketing meaning, in the digital landscape, every website that you go, everywhere you go, I can meet you at every point and say, hey, not me, the guy, but maybe a female or something. I have this new contraceptive. Are you interested? Or you get my point, right? And digital marketing, there are lots of things that probably I will touch on, like privacy issues, right? But for example, digital marketing, what it allows you to do is somebody searches for something, okay? So new Nike shoes. Okay, so if I get my digital marketing right and somebody does that search, new Nike shoes, they might go to another website, and if I have a shoe shop, I should get them to see the Nike shoe they searched for. Okay, so in that case, that's what makes digital marketing really effective because it's personalized. It's able to meet customers at their needs, Okay, so something that you really need, something that you probably search for through digital marketing, you're able to put it at the doorstep of customers. Okay, and on the right hand side, you see location, but geolocation is also very important in digital marketing. Now, the reason is this: more than 90% of internet users can be reached through Google marketing platforms. That's mind blowing. That's billions of people. Okay. Now watch this. I'm selling shoes. I don't know if you guys know, is it Sneaker Daisy? Or there's a sneaker shop in Ghana called Sneaker, or any other shop that I do have, right? Now, if I'm setting up a marketing campaign and I do not make it specific to Ghana, okay, it is possible that my campaign would reach somebody in Azerbaijan or India, right? And that's wasted efforts, wasted resources, because I mean, that's ridiculous. You don't expect the person, like, it's misplaced, okay? So that's my point. Digital marketing allows us to optimize each and every single decision that we make to get it right, to get it to the right people, okay? So that's how exciting digital marketing is. Now, let's move on to the next slide, which is the types of digital marketing. Now, if some of you are, I'm really hoping that some of you, after talking a lot about digital, you can see in here that there are some, okay, let me just give the hints. There are two of these which are not digital marketing platforms. But the reason they are in there is one, so that I see you understand digital marketing, and two, because they are of high importance, I will highlight them in later conversations, right? So I'm going to try and take you through each of these digital marketing platforms. I'm hoping that by now you've identified the two that are not necessarily digital marketing or fall under types of digital marketing. Okay, so let's take email marketing. Now, remember I was talking about the importance of geolocation, right? So just this morning, I was my email. So you know how Google has made it possible for people to reach out to us with their products. So they've partitioned email. So we have your primary where your emails are, the social where you get, social media updates. So maybe Twitter, somebody posts something, and even there they leave some section for ads. I mean, they're really aggressive. Like it's mind blowing. So even in the social, they leave some portion where you can get targeted by companies. And then they have a whole section, promotions, where, promotions, but I say promotions, you understand. People can promote their products and all that. And this morning, I saw somebody selling me a house in the US. I was pissed because you spend money to run that ad, and you want to target me in Ghana for a house in the US. It's ridiculous. It serves no purpose. It's wasted effort, wasted money for that company and all that. You get it? So immediately I flagged it as not being relevant to me, and that's me being generous. Do you know why? Most of these platforms work with feedback. So once I flag it as not being relevant, because Google's platforms are intelligent, they do not show me that platform again, and they try to find a root cause as to why that is not relevant. And eventually they'll come to the reason being the location, as in I'm not really in that location. Now, should I have decided to leave it, would have kept coming. The person would have kept putting more money and targeting somebody who's not really in their location, right? So I hope that was clear. Now let me move on to content marketing. So content marketing is what most of these guys are doing on social media, right? So we have a couple of Nigerians who are really, really good, really exciting. Like they make you laugh a lot. And when they started, you laugh and all that. I realized that later they begin to sell products via these channels. And some of them are really good at it. In their skits, they end up, even though they are selling a product, they create a whole story around it. I don't know if you guys know of any of these people. I'm sure you do. So, I wish I could get you to send me some names. But yes, that is what content marketing does. And content marketing takes a lot of creativity, right? Because you need to get people hooked up, you need to get people excited. And then when you have a base, when you have following, then you can confidently market products to them. Okay, now let's move on to social media marketing. So most of this content marketing is done on social media platforms. So Google has its own, so there's Facebook ads. Sure Google's platform is Google, and there's Facebook ads. There's Twitter ads as well. So there are quite a suite of them that you can leverage on to run your marketing campaigns. Okay, now PPC is something that I will probably touch much deeper into in later sections. So basically, pay per click. What is a concept that basically revolutionized the digital marketing space some many years back. Okay, so what I basically meant was you don't pay anything until somebody, engages with the content that you've shown. Okay, so I've paid. Okay, not paid per se. I'm yet to pay. Maybe you've set up the campaign. You've indicated how much you want to spend. Right now, if Google shows that ad to someone, you necessarily won't pay for Google showing, but you pay for people that actually click on it. And that is excellent because Google wants to give you value for money. I hope you get me. So once nobody has engaged with it, Google is that confident that I can get you people. So what that basically means is it pushes Google to do whatever is necessary to get people to click. Do you get it? So it gives you real value for money. Okay, now SEO, search engine optimization, is basically a concept that helps you improve the visibility of your website. So, for example, let me take the telecom space, right? So if I go to Google and I type mobile bundles, if your search engine optimization is good, people should see telecom operators pop up first. Okay, so SEO is how you improve your visibility such that people are able to find you with certain keywords, right? And let me go around again and then we come to influencer marketing. Now, most of us know one influencer or not. They can be really annoying, like they are gods on social media. But yeah, what these people have basically done is to build a following, build a base of people that, constantly engage with their posts. Right. So there's one person I know who it's just this year, right? So at the early part of the year, the person just had about 20 followers. Now the person is hitting towards 100,000 followers, which is massive. Okay. Now there's a whole lot of efforts building a base like that. You need to start by following people, engaging people, and as they grow, what they do is, or what she did was, share her life with them. What she's eating. It sounds funny, but yeah, what she's eating, if she's going to bed, stuff like that. And what that does is it builds some sort of relationship with these people. And it's like they are on a journey with you. So once you have that large base, then you're able to actually make money. If somebody wants to market a new product, they look for you because you're an influencer. You're able to influence people. You're able to affect the opinion of people. Okay, now that is somewhat related to the next one, which is viral marketing. So let's say Vodafone has a new product that they want to push out there. What they do is they look for influencers, and these influencers talk about the product in isolation. So one influencer will just come up, wow, Vodafone has a new bundle, 5 CDs, and then you get 2.5 gigabytes of data on each day on the weekends. So, I mean, one influencer will post that, then another from somewhere will just post something on that particular product, and then another person, and just like that, it just picks up. Then it becomes a conversation. So that's what we call viral marketing. It's like a virus. It just spreads that quickly. Okay. So even though we don't like influencers, they are really important. I'm not saying I don't like, yeah, they really do carry a lot of weight in the digital space, specifically social media marketing. Right? Mobile marketing is one thing that I'll touch on. So Google has specific platform for mobile marketing. Now, radio, TV ads, billboards, these are not necessarily digital in nature, right? So, as I mentioned, if you take a look at all of the other types of digital marketing that we mentioned, it happens online. It happens in a digital space. Okay, so let's move on, and hopefully, you're able to pick up a couple of good learnings from here. I'm skipping this slide because I'll touch on it deeper in the subsequent slides. So I hope you're ready for Google Analytics. I hope you're excited. right? So we'll go through the journey on Google Analytics, what it is, and understand some key terms, understand the features of Google Analytics, and then I'll take you through how to set up a Google Analytics account. And then we will look at the certification process. Okay. So for those of you interested, I have past questions, I have past school. I have lots of past questions, over 300 questions on the exams. So yeah, it's just things that I put together. Okay. Things that I put together based on what I learned. All right. So let's move on quickly. So let me take it from this angle, right? Now, let's say you have a website or you know someone who has a website, right? Now, the website was built for a purpose. Okay. You built it so that people can either come there and find information, come there and buy a product, in that sense, an e-commerce website, or like come there, read the news, come there, check some sports news, etc. You had a purpose for building that website, right? Now, as a very wise website or app owner, you would like to optimize, isn't that right? Everything has to be improved upon, no matter how good a thing is, it needs to be improved upon. And all of that can only be done if you understand what is happening in that particular space. And what will help you understand that? Data. So without data, you are in the blind. You don't, so if let's say you don't have Google Analytics or any other analytics something on your website, you don't know how many people are coming there each day. You don't know which pages they are visiting the most. You don't know which devices they are using. You don't know which internet they are coming to your website with. You don't know which browsers. You have no idea what is happening. And as such, there's nothing you can improve. Am I right or wrong? Okay, you can't even tell which pages people are visiting the least. I mean, of course, I have experience with this. You can have a website where the whole month only one person visited, but you don't know, so you are still keeping that page, and you can just take off that page because it basically adds nothing to your website, and it makes your website even lighter because you have one less page. Okay, and without data, you can't understand all of this. You can't understand the user journey. You can't understand the flow. When people come, where do they land? Where do they navigate to? How long do they spend? And that is where Google Analytics comes in. Google Analytics enables you to understand, have a view into all of this. So on a month-on-month basis, you can tell, wow, my base is growing. Maybe you went to some school and you told people that, hey, I have a new app. With Google, you can tell that people actually downloaded the app more that month. Or maybe you run a campaign, you want to pay Google ads, somebody to do Google ads. If you don't have Google Analytics, you can't tell whether your base has increased or not. Okay, so even as you are learning this, maybe you become a consultant, you use it for your own business. I hope I have web developers in this class because this is an issue I have with web developers a lot. Somebody builds a website for you and they don't want to do Google Analytics. Like, please change from now. If you are here and you're a web developer, please promise yourself that you change, you will learn and be serious with this. If you know any Google Analytics, any web developer, please tell them to do this. Because you can't improve upon our website without insight. And that is basically what Google Analytics helps you to do. Now, one of the key things is real time. Please take a note of that. When I say real time, as and when it happens. And if I land on your website now, Google Analytics will let you know that same moment that this person has landed. And it's very vital because as you learn Google Analytics, you may run some campaigns and you'll be able to make changes such that, so you can see maybe the revenue coming in. And if the company is not doing well, you can immediately identify pain points and improve upon it. Right. Sounds all exciting, right? So let's move on to some key Google Analytics features. The first, of course, is visualization or dashboards. I mean, dashboards have saved us a lot. Now, all the data that comes into Google is very raw, like I don't know how to say it again. It's raw data basically. But Google allows these custom dashboards to be available for you. So they are pre-built dashboards that you can easily reference. Also, there's freedom in the world. So you are free to create your own dashboards. You are free to combine various metrics to make your own custom dashboards. Okay. Another key feature is segmentation. So segmentation is the ability to, you know, go granular, look at things at a deeper level, look at things from certain angles. Okay. So maybe you want to see a performance of a campaign in a specific region, you can segment it. A performance of a campaign based on a device, you can do other segmentation. And then there's third party or keyword referral. So third party basically means Google Analytics helps you know where people came to your website from, whether they came from Instagram, whether they came from Facebook, Twitter. It gives you that insight and also helps you know the keywords that brought them to you. Now, if you are very smart, you know how important this is. This is key for if you are doing search engine optimization, if you are doing a Google Ads campaign, you know the keywords that people are finding you with. So then you include that in your list of keywords, right? Brilliant, right? The last one is conversion tracking. Okay, so one of the key things when you're going on the certification journey that they teach us, you need to define KPIs, and they must be smart. You know those smart. They must be KPIs that at the end of whatever campaign you're running, you can easily measure. Okay, now when we say conversion tracking, you can have one event conversion tracking. So let's say Jumia, the website is Jumia. And you can set a conversion to be when the person is done, payment is complete. So that one is one event conversion. But Google allows you to create a funnel-like conversion journey. Okay, so when the person clicks on add to cart, that's one journey complete. Then you take it. Then the person proceeds to payment, right? The person enters credit card details, another tick complete, and the person clicks on pay, that's another. So that's like layers of conversion. Now that what that gives you is more like a funnel. So within that funnel, you're able to tell how many people proceed to each stage. So let's say 20 people started the journey. Okay, cool, fantastic. Then the next stage, they are down to 18. Okay, 2 dropped off. Okay. Then the next stage, they're down to 10. That's a big flag. That's a red flag. So then you're able to go to that stage where they dropped off and look at what's happening. Maybe the payments page there's an error, or maybe the UX is not working well with people. So all of these things you can drill deep down and then make improvements. Okay, so I hope that was excellent for you. Now let's look at the type of data that is collected. So time of visit allows Google to calculate how long you spent. So your time of visit and your time of departure is logged. The difference is how long you spent. The pages that you visited, your screen resolution. This is useful for when you are developing creatives for campaigns. Your network location, your IP address, transactions, and mobile device type. There's a whole suite of data that is available. This is just a sample. Your operating system, you're able to tell which operating system you are using. Browser type. Okay, so the last time, the example I gave with the browser type is maybe you work with a developer, you are the analytics guy, web analytics, digital analyst, digital marketing, you have some experience with Google Analytics, right? So now they are developing a new app for the website. And there are two schools of thought. I mean, there's conflicts. The developer definitely doesn't want to develop the app to be compatible with Internet Explorer. But the business guys are saying that, hey, do it. There are people using it. So you as the digital analyst or Google Analytics guru will simply go and pull a report. You can go as far back as you want. The last month, the last 3 months, the past year, how many people actually visit our website using Internet Explorer? Only for you to check in 0.00001%. That's a case closed. The argument is done. In the absence of data, opinions reign. In the absence of data, there's noise. People sharing their opinions, but opinions do not are not always right. Okay, so once you put that data, case closed, everybody goes off, right? So that's just an example of how some of this data can support in scenarios such as that, right? So let's quickly look at how not just Google Analytics, but basically online analytics works. Okay, so on your left, you see there's a script. Okay, so that's the Google Analytics tag. Okay, so Google Analytics is not the only online analytics, web analytics. There's Adobe Analytics and other platforms. Okay, now just like Google, Adobe also has some tags. So what these tags basically do is when you create an account, okay, you are given a unique code with a unique ID. So if you check in the code there, you have that there's a UA1195. So that's unique to you. So that's what links your website to your Google Analytics console or workspace, such that whatever changes you make there gets affected in the website where the code is. So when you create your account to Google Analytics, they give you that code, that block of code that you put in your source code for the website, usually in the head section. Okay, so once that code goes there, whatever changes you make gets affected, such that the data is now sent. Okay, so once you insert that code and you do it right, whenever anybody visits, the data gets sent to Google Analytics. Whatever metrics that you've configured, it gets sent to Google Analytics. Google, of course, has like really big data platforms. The data gets sorted out, and what do we have in the end? Fantastic dashboards for you to enjoy. Okay, so this is an example of the Google Analytics tracking code. Remember, I was mentioning the code about UA11. So that's your unique code. So what you basically need to do is insert this in your head section of your source code for the website, and you're good to go. So these are some terms that I would want to highlight, touch on. And these are very key terms that you need to know, you need to understand. It should come easy to you if you are going to be in the digital marketing space. Page view should be easy to explain or even to understand. Okay, so page view, if I go to bbc.com, the homepage, that's one page view. If I look at another page, that's another page view. Very simple, right? So visit is every activity that I do within my visits per se, right? So I think examples work perfectly. So if I go to bbc.com, the whole time I'm active on BBC, that's called a visit. Okay. So once I become inactive for more than 30 minutes, then my visit or session resets. Okay. So session and visits are sometimes used interchangeably, but they mean the same thing. Okay. So once you hit on any website, the moment you land, your visit is logged as one visit. Okay. So as long as you are active, it's still counted out as a visit. But if you become inactive for 30 minutes plus, then it resets. Okay. So one thing that you should know about this is a value that you can easily change. If you like learning a lot, when you use platforms like Udacity, Coursera, edX, you realize that these are platforms that show videos or even YouTube. Now, if you are learning and the videos most of their videos averagely exceed 30 minutes. So in that case, they would need to extend the session time, because then you'd have, it wouldn't really reflect the correct visits, right? Okay, awesome. And then we have unique visitors. So unique in the sense that if you come, you are tagged as a unique visitor. Okay. So to tie all of this together, and one thing you need to know is some of these are relative to time. So let's take unique visitor. If I go to a website today, I'm counted as a unique visitor. If I go there 5 times a day, I'm still one unique visitor. Okay. Now, if I come the next day, I'm a unique visitor for that next day. But within the 2 days, I'm one unique visitor. Okay. So if I go to a website 20 times within a month, I'm still one unique visitor. Just that my visits will be 20 because I visited 20 times. I hope that's clear. Okay, fantastic. Now, let's look at bounce rate. Okay, so bounce rates, let me try and explain it simply. So bounce rate is the number of people that visit your website and leave on that same page. They don't go anywhere else. So they come to your website, the page they landed on, they don't go anywhere else, and then they leave. Okay. So it's the percentage of visitors that exit your website after viewing just one page. Okay, so if you have 2,000 visitors in a day and 20% visits just one page, then your bounce rate is calculated as that as a percentage of your visitors. Okay. Now, click-through rate works with ad campaigns. So click-through rate is when people engage with or click on an ad. Okay, it's a percentage of people who engage with the ad compared to the number of people that see it. Okay, so click-through helps you understand that if I put an ad out there, how many of people actually clicked on it or engaged with it? It helps you understand the performance of your campaigns. So impression is basically the number of times an ad or web page is seen. Return visitor is basically the number of people that visit more than one. So they come and then they revisit again. So that's return visitor. And time on page is self-explanatory, right? So whether in seconds or minutes or hours, all right? So how long do people spend on the average on your web pages? Okay. So now, exciting times. We are moving on to the Google Analytics interface. Okay. Now, close attention. All right, very close attention. Don't worry, I'll share the URL and everything for the Google Analytics workspace. All right. So once, let me explain the workspace and I'll take you to how. Okay, so if it's going through your mind that, hey, I don't know how to get here, relax. Okay, I'll take you there. Just bear with me now. I'll explain it again later. Okay. Right. So once you do everything I'll show you in the next few slides, you end up on this default page. Okay. Now, one key thing you should know is on your left side where you have your reports. So your reports is where you have a whole lot of predefined reports that you can just enjoy from. You don't need to create or do anything. These are custom builds already. So you see we have demographics, we have interest, we have geo, which ties to location, we have behavior, we have technology. So once you break each of these down, there are some reports in there that you can leverage on. Okay. Now, on your top, you see accounts, properties, and views. Okay. So hold on to that, accounts, properties, and views. I'll explain in the next slide. And then we have the notifications, if there are any changes, if there are any updates, and then you can switch between multiple Google Analytics accounts. Okay, so over here in the mid section, we have some data showing. Okay, so when you check here, overview, we are looking at users right now. So the number of users, a line graph on a daily basis. Okay, so you can change that to hourly, you can change that to week, can change that to month, and then you can change your dates as well to whatever periods you're interested in. You can share this or export it as CSV. So you can share this as a link for somebody else to view. And if you make any changes, you can save as well. So down here, you can have a number of data or insights showing you. So you know the total number of users within the period that you selected, new users within that period. Okay, then we have sessions. Okay, so you know what sessions are, visits. Okay, now you have the number of sessions per user. You know how that is calculated, right? You divide the sessions by the users. And then we have the number of pages viewed. We have the pages viewed per each session. And then you have the average session duration, and then you have your bounce rate. Okay, so you know all of these things because I've taught you Yeah, you're welcome. Right. So now let's look at what the account structure is like. Okay. Now, I think I'm just hoping that you pay some sort of close attention to this. Uh, yeah. So the first layer is the organization. Okay. So I'm a digital analytics or digital marketing consultant. Okay. Now for organization, if I'm managing the Google Analytics for maybe a company like ShopRite, okay, I'll have one organization as ShopRite. I can have another organization, which is, remember I said you can switch between the Google Analytics accounts. You can have separate organizations for different people that you are working with, okay? Or alternatively, you can just have one organization and just set up multiple accounts, okay? So that works either way as well, okay? So once you can have an account, and then in that account, so let's say an account for ShopRite, an account for Samsung, an account for whatever, you can also use that route. But once you have these individual accounts, you move down to the next layer, which is property. Property is basically whether you are doing the analytics for the website or for the app. Okay, so I can have, if in the ShopRite account, I can have the website property. I don't know if ShopRite has an app. In the, let me use Vodafone because I mean that's where I work. So in the account, you can have the account as Vodafone, and the property, you can have our website property and you can have our app property. That makes sense, right? And then when the last layer is the views. Okay, so now you set all of this up. The views basically means I can create different views for different teams within the account. So if I'm managing the Vodafone account, now I have it integrated with their website and app. For the website, I can create a view for senior management. So they see a summary dashboard. Just that, that's all they see. I can create a view for the Vodafone Cash team. So they only see things related to Vodafone Cash web pages. That's basically it. It helps you to filter the data to specifics to meet different people. Okay, so let's basically run through the Google Analytics setup. So this is stage one. So you just go to Google Analytics, just Google Google Analytics setup, right? So just Google that. In Google, just that Google Analytics setup or Google Analytics account creation, sign up. Any of these should work, okay? So once you land here, it tells you welcome and everything. So you just click on setup for free. I don't know if I mentioned everything is free. Hooray. Right? So then we move to the account creation. So you put in your account name, and then if you are interested in having promotions sent to you, you can obviously take all of this. And then the next step is to choose your property. Okay. So whether your website, you want to measure your website, or you want to measure apps, or you want to measure both managed users across web and app. So it's beta because it's a new feature that Google is trying out, the apps and web. Okay. Now, once you have all of that, you come to the next section, the property setup. So you provide the website name, you provide the URL, and yeah, time zone and all that. These are pretty straightforward steps. And then you make sure you read the terms and conditions. I know that's a big ask, but yeah, so you need to read and then accept the terms and conditions. And yeah, once again, if you're interested in maybe email communications and all that, you can indicate that and move on. So once you do all that, you followed me closely. Hopefully I can share this deck with you because it will help you in your setup later. Once you follow all that religiously, it brings you to this page. Now remember I was talking a lot about the tracking code. This is it. Okay, so this is it. So this is unique to you. So this is what you put in the source code for the website. So you share this with the website developer to put in the head section, and that is it. Once the user person puts it in there, you are set up. In that fantastic? It is, right? So then, once the person does that, you can now have all these metrics. So you see right now, I was telling you how many active users are actually there, live and colored, right? Once you're in there, you can see the different kinds of reports. So we have real-time reports. You can have real-time reports with respect to locations. You can have audience reports. You can have acquisition reports. So acquisition basically where people are visiting you from. So that's where you see the top channels, whether they are searching for you. So that's more than 50% of the people. They find you through research, whether it's directly through a link or something, whether it's referral, whether it's display. So display is a campaign like Google Ads campaign and all of that. Okay. So you can have all these fantastic metrics. You can have behavior under behavior. You can see the site speed, content, a whole lot. So these are things that you can explore and understand through later. Okay. So a cohort analysis is another thing that I introduced to help you understand the journeys of users. Okay. So it helps you track how many people return to your website. Okay. Now, I'm going to quickly wrap this up, and then we move to Google Ads. Okay. Now, another key aspect for me is your certification. Okay. So once you're able to practice with what I've taught you, you can go to the Google Analytics Academy and do more of what I've taught you. Okay, so you see there's Google Analytics for beginners. You do that, and then you get a course completion certificate. But I'm not okay with course completion. I need you to get a professional certification. So you do the Google Analytics for beginners. You understand it. You learn. You do the tests. You pass them. You redo the test. You get it, and then you go to the advanced Google Analytics. So once you are done with these two, you will be prepared to take the exam and pass. Okay, I've provided a link down here as well. And basically, these are some of the things that will teach you, some of the things that I've already taught you. Okay. And this is a certification stage as well. So I'll give you the link to the certification. But please don't come here if you are not ready. Okay. So make sure you go to that academy, learn everything, and then you come and take the exam. The link is here for you. So let's quickly go to Google Ads. Okay. Now, in the past, a lot of marketing targeting was done on TV. Okay. Now, I mean, only the rich people amongst us, most of these products are not even African products, but yeah, I just wanted to communicate an idea. So once upon a time, TV was king, right? So if Pepsi wanted to reach people, TV is still relevant, but I'll show you data that shows that digital has overtaken TV. And it was not that long ago. So TV will remain king for a long time. If McDonald's wants to, they have a new burger, it's TV, TV ads, TV ads, TV ads. But let's see what digital has done now. Okay, so this was ad age, and I love the way they phrased it. Step aside TV and desktop. Digital advertising revenue surged nearly 22% to 72.5 billion for the 2016 calendar year, up from 59.6 billion reported in 2015. Okay, so that was the first time that mobile overtook desktop spending, and first time digital has surpassed TV ad spend. Okay, so it means it's an exciting field, right? See all these billions. Okay, it's digital marketers that are driving it. It's a very revenue-driven industry because everything is digital. My God, everybody's online. It's amazing how God has blessed us with such, I don't know, let me not do that now, but I mean, you get my point. Like, the way we've been able to transform our way of living, it's been tremendous. Okay, so this is how Google Ads revenue has risen. More than 90% of Google's revenue comes from Google Ads. So if you didn't know, I'm telling you now, it's massive, right? More than 90% of Google's revenue comes from Google Ads. Not Google Ads, but like advertising. So it's massive. See how it's grown over the years. It's incredible, right? So Google Ads was previously known as Google AdWords, but that was changed. And Google Ads now hosts all the advertising platforms. Okay. So Google Ads is Google's own advertising platform, which allows advertisers like what you want to become and what I am. It allows you to display brief advertisements, show products to people, video content, and even improve, what we call app installs. Okay. Now some keywords. Okay. So campaign, an ad campaign on Google AdWords made up of your ad groups and has the same budget, campaign type, and other assets. We'll delve deeper into all that. Okay. So when you're setting up a campaign, you can set up an ad group, and an ad group is defined by some keywords or like your budgets and targeting methods. Okay. Right. The campaign types too, I will explain. There are several campaign types. There's search, there's display, there's video, and all that. Okay. So keywords are also important because this is what helps your ads be successful. So if you want your ads to show up, you define certain keywords. And if the person searches for ABC, then let me come up, right? And then CPC, cost per click. So I think I mentioned this earlier. I'm sure I did. Okay, so cost per click. Because Google's platform is intelligent, it helps you know how much it will cost you per each click. We'll get into all of that. I just hope that you stay attentive because Google Ads can be a bit confusing. Okay, so quality score is also an important concept in Google Ads. Okay, it's a measurement that Google uses to define how relevant your ad headline is, your description, keywords, and the destination URL to your potential customer. Okay, now let's delve into the types of Google Ads. Okay, so we have Google Ads display, we have Google Ads search. I'll show you all the examples. Google Ads video, Google Ads apps, and shopping ads. Right? So let's look at search ads. Now, most of you have probably come across search ads before. So when you search for something, sometimes you see that some of the results come with an ad by the side. Exactly, that is a search ad. Okay, so here you see that I was searching for digital. I'm not that fair, but yeah, I was searching for digital marketing courses, and the first, how many? 4 are ads. Okay, now the question you ask yourself is, like, why is the first one first? Why is Adobe first? Okay, it's because of ad ranks, which is a concept that you really need to understand if you want to do digital marketing. Okay, so I hope you are listening closely. We are moving on. I'll explain that. That's the highlight of this class. So we have Google Ads display. Okay, so something like what we have down here is an example of Google Ads display. So usually, if you pay attention, Google Ads display looks a lot like the I and the X and all that. So it shows you like creative, something that you can interact with, right? Video ads, oh boy, a lot of us don't like this, but I mean, what can we do? So when you're watching your video and then somebody shows up, like stuff like that, yeah. Yeah, so these are video ads. I don't even think I need to explain further. I don't want to get people pissed off. Okay, so now this is the foundation of Google Ads. Okay, so ad auction is basically what determines which ad will show first. So for these search ads that you show, they went through an ad auction, and then the winner gets ranked like that. Okay, so when you say auction, people think that like an auction where you pay the person conducting it to say going once, going no, not that. Okay, I mean the concept is similar, but it's not that. Okay, so when you are setting up an ad, you need to identify some keywords. Okay, and those keywords form part of your quality score. So I mentioned earlier that it's your quality score that determines where you get ranked. Okay, so each time somebody searches for something, the ad auction happens. So if I search for best bicycles in Ghana, then the auction happens. Everybody that has set up a Google Ads campaign for bicycles gets listed. So then Google then begins to look at some specific things that will help. So ultimately, it takes out some things that even. So if you didn't do geolocation for your campaign, immediately you're not even part of the auction. Okay, because it's not relevant, and because Google has to do this within milliseconds, there's a lot of elimination going on. So you need to make sure that you get everything right. Okay. So ad auction. So look at it this way. Ad auction is the bigger concept, the bigger concept. So this is the process that allows your campaign to show up and to rank the way it gets run. Okay. So now that you have ad auction, then we now come down to ad rank. So ad rank is what determines where you get ranked. So you need to get into the auction first. So once you're in the auction and you pass auction, then now there's another concept called the ad rank. Okay, so ad rank is a combination of your bid, so how much you are willing to pay for the click of your campaign, your ad quality, and the ad rank thresholds, the context of the person's search, and the expected impact of extensions and ad formats. Don't worry, I know it's a lot, but we'll get into it in the subsequent slides. Okay, so how much do you actually pay? It's based on the daily budget you set, the max cost per click, and the actual clicks and the average TPC. Okay, let me come down and use this to explain even further. Okay, now follow me to the image on the right. Okay, so you know about the auction. Okay, what gets a site campaign to be run. Now let's look at the rank. Okay, so the rank is determined by your cost per click bid and your quality score. Your cost per click bid is something that you determine. You will define that when you're setting up the campaign. So don't get confused with that. The cost per click bid, you will determine yourself when you're setting a campaign. Okay, so that forms part of where you get ranked. Is that understood? Okay, fantastic. Now, let's go to the other thing that also forms a key determinant of where you get ranked. Quality score. Okay, so quality score is what Google determines the relevancy of your campaign. Okay, so it looks at how relevant and useful your ad is to the user. And the components it looks at are the click-through rate. So based on past activities, it looks at it projects the click-through rate, the relevance, and the landing page. Please pay attention to that. So if you are setting a campaign that leads to your website, the campaign and the content, the creative has to be directly related to your landing page. You can't be talking about bicycles in the ad and then the landing page is a place where you are selling cars. Immediately your quality score drops. Okay, now this is all like it happens in milliseconds. So that's how amazing Google's platform is. Within milliseconds, it does all these checks your quality score, your CTR, the relevance, and how it links to your land. It's all done within a matter of seconds. Okay, so once you have all of this set right, then you get to be ranked higher. Okay, so let's take these four advertisers. Okay, so advertiser one says, me, the max bid I'll go for each ad auction is maybe $2. The next person says, oh, me, I have money, so 4. Right? And the next person says 6, 8. Now, in a traditional auction space, advertiser 4 should win. Isn't that it? Yeah, because I have the most money. But Google is doing this because it wants to give an opportunity for even lower brands to prevail. If it was about money and I'm searching for burger, I should always see Burger King, McDonald's, all the new guys coming up. I will never see them. But this is just to even out the playing field. Okay. All of them advertise at one. So if you know you don't have the money, you work on your quality score. And your quality score is what? Your click-through rate. Try and improve on your click-through rate, your headline, the message you are pushing out. And it has to be directly linked to your landing page. So advertiser one with this least bid has the highest quality score because of the kind of effort he put in. And see his ad rank 20. Okay. No, 20 means he has a lot of scores. So not like 120, but 20 means the score is high. Okay, advertiser 2 has a less, the quality score is not as good. Okay, so in the end, advertiser one will end up paying less, but end up with a higher rank. You get it? So, I mean, when I shared with you, go over it again and try to understand these concepts better. Okay. So now let's quickly go through how to set up a campaign, right? So in setting up a campaign, I'll share the URL and everything with you guys. But basically, like the Google Analytics, you can just search for Google Ads campaign setup or something. Yeah, Google Ads setup. It's not rocket science. You should find it easily. Okay. So once you land there, I think I even have the URL here for you. So I'm very, very generous. But this is something I wanted to explain. So once you are here, you see your ad group, and your ad group, you're able to define some keywords. Remember, I mentioned the keywords, and Google gives you ideas. So let's say you have a new e-commerce website, but you don't know which keywords to use. You are lost. Means you are not serious, but I mean, yeah, you are still lost. You can come and search for any other e-commerce or even your competitor and see the kind of keywords that people find them with. So you see best online shopping, Jumia Black Friday. Do you get it? So you can take inspiration from this. Google also helps you understand your estimates, how much you are likely to pay, right? So let's go to the setup. So I have the URL for you here. So you go there, start now, and then these are the advertising goals. So do you want to get more calls? With that, you're able to provide your phone number. That's your focus. Do you want to get more website visitor sales? Or you want to get more visits to your physical location? So you understand, in the beginning, I was telling you, let's be digital. You have a shop somewhere. You can get more people to come to your physical location. If you want more calls, there's provision for that. Okay. So you give Google your business name and then your website is very important. And then, oh, you see all these things I was saying, your location, because you're not selling to the whole world, right? So then you define your location, and then once you select the location and the radius, how wide, I'm even selling to people in the sea, amazing. So how wide you want to reach people, Google gives you an estimate. So 3 million people, wow, that's a reach, possible reach, fantastic, right? So then you can set up some keyword themes. So maybe I'm starting a consulting business. So when people do website design, I should pop up. Commercial website design, please let me pop up. E-commerce website design. Okay, so with that, it gives you another estimate. The number of people that actually search for these things, that's 22,000. Fantastic, right? So you've seen these kind of headlines before. That's it. Google Ads, that's what we are doing. That's what we've done. You've seen this. That's what we've done now. So you write your headline, best pots and pans, created just right. Maybe something, whatever you want to catch people's attention. Exactly what we've done here. And then you put your URL here. And now you see that our own, they've add ads. Fantastic. Exactly what we are doing. And then you give a description. What are you selling? You give that. Fantastic. And then if you want people to reach you via a number you have the opportunity to provide that. And then now you determine how much you want to spend. So you want daily average $11. You put that in. So Google works out everything for you. It works not going above the $11 and spreads it out. So when there's any bid, any ad auction based on what I've explained, it bids for you, and then based on the maximum that you set. Okay, so here you can review everything, and then obviously you enter your payment info. Please, my payment card is not here, so stop looking, right? So we can try and work out the much more advanced, campaign. So remember I said there's other advanced targeting campaigns. So the sales leads website traffic are display ones, app promotion, and then the video ones are the ones that I've indicated with video, right? So let's do a simple website wants more traffic. Okay, so here you enter your goal, you enter your campaign name, and then you indicate the search and display network. So search network is the family of search networks that Google can reach people with. And the display network, so Google has display partners. So like Ghana Web is one. So when I went to Ghana Web, I can show Google Ads there. Okay, so that's an example. So here, same thing, your budget, how much you want to spend per day. And then your bidding, what do you want to focus on? You want to focus on clicks, right? So when people click, it is conversion for you. Fantastic, right? And you can change that as well. You can change that to manual cost per click. Right? It's very flexible. Okay. I wanted to explain what site link extensions are. So this is one thing that helps your campaigns also do very well. So when you look at Vodafone, you can add these things. These are what we call site link extension. So once I search for Vodafone and I'm looking, like I add Banner so that you don't have to go here before you go to Banner. These are site link extensions, something you should incorporate in your campaigns or websites as well. Okay, so the same thing, once I select the campaign settings, now I can identify my keywords. Google gives me an estimate of how much I should pay. And then, same process, I determine my headlines, my text, then you put your website here. The interesting thing about the advanced campaigns is you can do responsive ad search. You can do multiple, so it flashes, like it changes. You get it? So it changes from one text to another. And what Google can do is it can optimize and see which one people engage with best, and then push that one more. Okay. So you can have a template for mobile. You can have a template for desktop. I'm sure you've seen this one before. Display. I see it. Right. And then there's the responsive one. Okay. Also fantastic. So yes, now you go and do your payment again, and then you should be good to go, right? So I've given you the link to the Google Ads certificate. I hope this was well understood, okay? But you have the opportunity to learn a bit more. When you go to the Google Analytics Academy, you can pick up so much, okay? So the Google Ads certification is here as well. I'll give you the link. So there's Google Ads certificate, there's Google Ads Display, there's Google Ads View. So you can work on all those certifications. And once you have them, I mean, you have a lot ahead that you can do. The certifications do provide a lot of leverage for us. Okay, so now some very key stats that I want to leave you with why you should focus on digital marketing. 86% of consumers use the internet to find a local business. 86. Okay, Ghana, I don't know, some African regions, because people don't put their business online, it's difficult to find them. But this is the trend out there. 86% of consumers use the internet to find a local business. And why not? Because we are digital now. 72% of consumers prefer to find information on local merchants via, I don't know, it's just validating everything I'm saying from the beginning. And 98% of searchers choose a business that is on page one of the results they get. Do you know how massive this is? So it means you need to get your search engine optimization right. If not, then you should work on the optimizing and getting the best campaigns out there, because 98% of searchers choose the business. If your search lands on page two, I'm sorry. Because 98%, that's impressive. Okay, now Google owns 71% of the search market share and also owns the largest online display advertising network. Okay, and then another insight is Google display campaigns reach 80% of global internet users. More reason why Google Analytics is the preferred choice. And businesses make an average of $2 in revenue, so double your spend. That's basically it. Okay, so I mean, there's a whole lot of reason why you should focus on picking out some of these key skills. It can help promote your business, it can help generate revenue. And I mean, just work at it. If you want to start a consulting, go for it. If you want to do it for your own business, go for it as well. I really hope you learned a lot. And I hope it's possible that you can reach out to me if you have further questions. And I wish you the best. All right. Thank you.